Welcome to the Sneaking Into the Movies podcast. I'm Max Nathan.
And I'm Norman Davis. And this week, we're talking about Michael.
Sneak in with us and let's go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
There's a lot of talk around this movie. It's no surprise. Michael Jackson is a very, very, very famous person.
Yes, truly.
I would say there are two people that are in the same fame bracket as Michael Jackson. That would be Jesus Christ and Mohammed.
Okay. I think that's probably accurate, honestly.
I think you could still feel it now, but we can't really comprehend because we were kids for a little bit when Michael Jackson was alive, and then he died. We were, I think, in kindergarten.
Around probably then. 7, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the most famous dude ever. This is his first biopic.
And I'm glad you mentioned that we were 7 years old when he died, because that's kind of a perfect framing for our perspective on Michael. I think it's very relevant information that we were 7 years old when he died. So we saw primarily the end. And, obviously when we were kids, we were probably not really aware of the, allegations at the end of his life and all of that stuff. We knew the music. And that's what this movie primarily focuses on. I say primarily, that's all the movie focuses on. That is the whole movie. It is just the songs. So Norman, what did you think of this movie?
I think the best phrase I can come up with was aggressively mid.
Okay.
Almost offensively mid.
Okay.
I say.
Why do you say that?
I wasn't I don't think it was terrible. It wasn't a dumpster fire.
Sure.
People saying this movie was the worst movie ever. Watch more movies. There's a lot worse out there.
I would agree with that statement.
But I also didn't think it was great or fantastic.
Sure.
Or I don't even know if I'd watch it again, to be totally honest.
Okay.
I just kind of thought it was fine. I wasn't I wasted my money or anything like that. I wasn't in the theater oh my god, I need this to end.
Yeah.
It was whatever.
I also went into the theater thinking, like you mentioned, oh, this was a waste of 2 hours, basically. I thought that that's how I was going to come out of the movie. I thought I was going to go in, watch the movie, and just roll my eyes the entire time. I really, really, really detest most of these musical biopics. Pretty much all of them.
I 100% agree.
With some caveats. I think there's some that we both like. Straight Outta Compton, Elvis, I think are two that I think we both enjoy. But yeah. So I went into the movie and I kind of came away surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Now, some asterisks with that. Some pretty big ones. I don't really think this is a real movie, to be honest with you. And you might be like, oh, that's such a dumb criticism of something that is very clearly a movie.
I get what you're saying, but yeah.
I just thought that this was a vehicle to get you to some Michael Jackson concerts. And that's fine for what it is. It felt very much like a movie made for this generation. Meaning, it felt like a movie that was made of 30-second TikTok clips that they smashed together. It was a clip show movie. It was a Michael Jackson's Greatest Hits clip show. And as a Michael Jackson Greatest Hits clip show, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. And I think a lot of people will have and are having a great time with this movie. And
let me ask you.
Yeah.
How much of that was from how well made of a film this was, rather than just these are some of the greatest, most timeless pop records ever written?
So I think it's a bit of a, it's twofold. On the one hand, you have, like you said, some of the greatest songs ever. You can't help, I couldn't help but feel goosebumps every time they, throw in a little bit of the start of, Thriller or Billie Jean or something like that. And you feel it every time. And you feel the concert stuff. I thought it was honestly like as otherworldly as the guy himself, those concert sequences. I thought they were great. The filmmaking.
Interesting.
The filmmaking, like I said, the concert sequences are, that is part of the direction, that is part of how the movie is filmed. I thought they were successful. Everything outside of the concert stuff, very generic, like just straight up not great stuff. You obviously remember when, Martin Scorsese criticized the Marvel movies for being theme park rides. This was the Michael Jackson theme park ride, and I think that works in its favor, honestly, as a theatrical experience. And what I mean by that is we were just talking before this podcast about how Michael Jackson is an extremely complicated figure. You think about just the fact that this dude was completely otherworldly. His music is some of the greatest music you've ever heard. You've never heard anything like it. The allegations at the end of his life, the way the facial reconstructive surgeries he had, the skin condition that he had, there's just a ton of stuff that makes this guy, honestly, for lack of a better term, otherworldly. We've never seen anything like this guy before or since. And I don't know that we ever will, to be honest with you. And that makes it incredibly difficult to make a movie about this guy. Norman, do you think they could have done it any other way than they chose to go about doing it?
Yeah, I think they could have
Okay.
been a little more into the weeds. I mean, obviously, yeah.
Yes.
Like you said, this movie was made by the Jackson estate. They were never going to make some giant movie about how awful Michael Jackson is or anything like that, or however people who don't like him see him that way. Yeah, like you said with the amusement park thing, this movie's made so you get in the car after and put on some Michael Jackson.
That's exactly
Just
what I did.
That's exactly what I did too. Yeah, you just remember, oh, that is some of the best music ever. Throw some on the playlist, listen to it again. So I understand. Yeah, like this movie was made for people who like Michael Jackson.
Yes, of course.
and can look past some of the controversies and everything.
Yeah.
But I think there was a way to make this movie a little deeper without necessarily, going to the more serious accusations, but just more of like his relationship with his brothers is
We get none
kind
of
of
that.
non-existent. It's non-existent in this movie, which is weird because pretty much all of this movie takes place in a time where he was still pretty close with his brothers. Just little things like that I think you could do without having like showing him getting arrested or showing kids at Neverland sleeping in whatever.
Which is what the original cut had. I mean, this movie had to undergo extensive reshoots. They delayed it like a year, I think. And the original cut had Michael Jackson facing the child sex abuse allegations that he had. And that was kind of a bunch of the third act. And long story short, one of the accusers was involved in that third act, and they reached a settlement with the estate that guaranteed he could never be depicted in future commercial projects. And he was at the end in this original ending of the movie, so they had to reshoot it, and it has a very different ending. It doesn't go into that stuff at all. So yeah, just a little background on that.
Yeah, but like I said, that wasn't totally missing for me. I guess maybe that one scene.
Sure.
I think the one specific scene is that was like one accuser. I think it was 1993 when he first got arrested. And he did pay settlement, but there was never any charge of him actually. I don't want to try and sway people one way or another.
Sure.
Everyone has heard about this. Everyone feels we've all been presented the same stuff. Everyone feels the way they're going to feel about it.
Sure.
You said this before. We recorded this, but we'll never. He's dead. We'll never definitively know.
Sure.
But you can get into that and how how the cops treated him. That was a big thing for him. The way that. I don't want to get into it. Essentially, I don't know. There's a way you can do it, but I'm not like, oh, this movie wasn't all about how he was a total creep or whatever.
It's not the part of Michael Jackson that most people are gonna want to see in a film like this. And you could argue, like, okay, well then you're you're basically washing the story of its, you know, complications. You're basically making the man the idol that he's kind of been made out to be over time, honestly. Like, when people talked about Michael Jackson when I was a kid, like, he honestly didn't really even seem like a real guy, and then you see his face at that time, and I got even more confused about everything. I think you're right about there being, there could be more with the brothers. I honestly don't know too much about Michael Jackson in general, and I think you could argue that one of the problems with this movie is that I still don't really know that much about Michael. I know kind of what I knew going in.
Kind of the thing. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. I've
Yep.
read a lot about him and stuff. Listened to all his music and seen all these videos before they came out. But
Sure.
yeah, I know he had like some kind of turmoils with his brother. Like I know, I think Tito, who's Jafar Jackson's dad, who plays Michael Jackson in this movie. But I know they didn't get along for a while. I think they might have patched it up. I don't totally know, but get more into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just kind of like no real conflict. There was the stuff with
None.
his dad.
That was
it would essentially be something would come up, and it would just get resolved before the scene was in because Michael Jackson was just perfect and amazing.
Yep.
And be like, oh man, we can't get my videos to play on MTV because they're racist over there. Mm-hmm. And we just go ask him, hey, I'm Michael Jackson, play my videos.
Yeah.
He makes a call. You better play those videos or I'm gonna shove it up your ass or whatever.
Yeah.
Complete.
I think you could argue, like you mentioned, the relationship between him and his father is like the main central conflict throughout the movie. It's the one thing that's kind of lingering throughout the entire movie. There's not really that much there. There's just the constant push-pull of like, dad wants him to perform with his brothers. He wants to go and do his own thing. And that's just kind of there. And there's also the aspect that Michael can't really stand up for himself or communicate for himself. He has other people do things for him. He has Miles Teller he has John Bronca, played by Miles Teller, kind of communicate everything to his father when he's, in that thriller stage of his life. And at the end of the movie, he kind of does the whole thing on stage where he's like, this is going to be our last show. And he kind of definitively says that. He doesn't really say it to his dad. He kind of says it to the crowd. I think maybe that's how it kind of went down more or less in real life. I don't know. Maybe that's, one of the more accurate aspects of the movie. As a movie, he did not really complete the arc of like, okay, now I can stand up for myself and communicate to my father in the way that I need to. He kind of just talks to the crowd and ignores his dad.
That's kind of what he did, though. I mean,
sure.
I won't totally get into it. His dad was like way worse in real life.
Okay.
Like beat the shit out of them every day, like humiliated them, like damn near tortured them. I'm not going to get into it.
Sure.
You can read about all of this. See, I don't know if there ever really was that real kind of resolution in his life. He was like 30 and he couldn't tell his dad. He was 30 and he had the highest selling record point blank period ever, and he couldn't tell his dad, I'm in charge of my life.
Yeah, to fuck off, basically.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. Everything was just a little toothless in this.
A little bit.
It was just very corporate. And just so, like, by the books.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt like every conversation he had with his mom was like a conversation I've heard 1,000 times.
It was extremely generic. It was very like, also they don't really give Michael's mother very
Anything
much
to do?
agency to even do anything. Yeah, like she just kind of, tells Michael that she's proud of him and that he's the most special kid in the world, and it's just very like, paint by numbers mom in a movie. Just very boring, generic stuff. I will say, though, I thought the performances were a highlight, which I was kind of shocked. I shouldn't be shocked. It's fucking Coleman Domingo, and
I thought it was the best part of the movie was the performances.
I agree. I thought Jafar was fantastic. Like I said, I don't really have that much familiarity with Michael Jackson, but he embodied what I understand to be Michael Jackson. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, he did like a phenomenal job. I mean, obviously with the moves, but yeah, the voice and the cadence and everything. I think he did a really good job. And yeah, Coleman Domingo. I saw a lot of people saying he was not good in this movie.
Like, what are we talking about?
What are we talking? Maybe that's why people thought it was the worst movie ever. Because I thought he was pretty good in this movie.
I agree,
as he always is. But yeah, Jafar Jackson, good stuff. I hope he's in more stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really know what he does. I mean,
yeah.
This movie said introducing. I've never seen him in anything. I don't think he's an actor per se.
Well, he's an actor now.
He's an actor now. Yeah, I'd love to see him pop up in more stuff.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, shout out to the performances.
I totally agree. I liked all the performances. I liked you got Kendrick Sampson, who plays Nate in Insecure, and he plays Quincy Jones in this movie. I just like that guy a lot, and I was glad to see him in this movie playing Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
He doesn't get anything to do. There's not that much Quincy Jones stuff in this movie, but I was glad to see him. Yeah.
I was hoping we didn't get no Scorsese.
We didn't get Scorsese. We got John Landis
out
of frame. But yeah, no. When the Thriller music video came up, I was like, did Scorsese direct Thriller? No, he didn't direct Thriller.
I think he was bad. He did.
Yeah, I knew he did one of them, and then John Landis did another one.
He had Coppola did. I don't remember. Coppola did a video.
Mm-hmm.
Spike Lee did. They Don't Care About Us.
Yep. That was late. That was later on, right? That was later stage Michael Jackson.
They Don't Care About Us. It was right after where this movie ends. I think it was.
Okay.
I don't think it was on Bad. Pretty sure it was right after Bad.
Gotcha.
Around that time. But yeah, he was working with the best directors ever.
I mean, that's what he said in the movie, and he definitely said in real life is I want to make short films out of these songs. And I guess music videos. I mean, he didn't invent the music video, but maybe he reinvented the music video.
He kind of came onto the scene, and I mean that Thriller video is that might be the music video ever.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, a lot of these Michael Jackson videos are incredible. And like you said, they're directed by real heavy hitter, all-time great filmmakers. Let's talk about the ending, and specifically his story continues. Norman, what were you thinking when you saw that come up at the end of this film?
I almost started laughing.
Okay.
That was the most MCU ass MJ will return in Doomsday.
Yeah.
Type of energy. There's been this whole talk that they split this movie into two. I think the producers have talked about making another one. I saw Coleman Domingo and Nia Long joking about it. And calling it Jackson, by the way. I don't know. Have you seen that? Michael and then you get Jackson.
I've heard that mentioned. Yes.
I don't know what it would be about if it's made by the same sugarcoating everything, because this whole movie was this is when Michael Jackson was a god. This is when this is right before everything started kind of going downhill.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it was 93 was when he first got arrested. He has some good songs, but his music not nearly as good as those first couple albums. So I'm very curious what this next Michael Jackson movie would be.
Yeah. And even when you think about, past musical biopics, I guess, what did Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody do? Did they go through the whole thing, or did they just do this is very much a rise movie. There's no rise and fall. There's usually a rise and then there's a fall. There's no fall. There's no plateau. There's no anything. This is just up, 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 and we stop. And
that's what I'm saying. If they do make a sequel to this movie, it's literally it's all downhill from here.
Yeah. And I guess you could do the quote unquote tragedy of Michael Jackson, but we already got into, that is treacherous territory. That is not something that I think, even the whole story about this movie, I think, and its massive success should be about the fact that they made a movie that appeals to people who want to celebrate Michael Jackson and his music. If you make the fall or tragedy of Michael Jackson, or quote unquote tragedy, depending on what you believe, that is not the same kind of instant box office potential that this movie is. That is a very different movie, at least on paper. I'm sure there's a way you could figure out how to make it work. Norman, I don't personally know how you make it work. Do you know how to make that work?
If you can sugarcoat all of the allegations,
but if you do that, then that's fucked.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, do you destroy your audience from the first movie?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm so curious. I think they just kind of maybe not wanted to. They were going to touch on the stuff in the first movie, like we'll do it in the sequel, and probably didn't really think about how. Just we'll figure this out later. And this movie's going to make a ton of money. They're going to want to make another one, and they're probably to go through hell trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I don't see it, and I honestly, I would love to see how they try, because that does not seem like a good idea to me at all. So, yeah, but again, like I honestly, going back to my feelings walking out of the theater, I was surprised. Like I really did enjoy the movie, the experience of watching it. I enjoyed the concert sequences. That is filmmaking. That takes skill, making those really good. I mean, obviously they have pretty good starting point with those fucking songs being the greatest songs ever made.
Greatest moves, greatest fit,
Yep. And they have Jafar Jackson there, who is doing like an A+ job at being Michael Jackson. It's I was thinking about it after. You could have done a concert movie. However, this is a very different experience, and I think it offers potentially more than just what seeing footage of Michael Jackson can do for you, because you do see the rise, you do see some of the
struggle.
The struggle, kinda. You don't really receive setups and payoffs and conflict like a traditional movie, but you do see Michael Jackson outside of the performer and the and the stage, which I think is something that enhances the concert stuff. Like it's not great in the movie, like as a movie, but I think this is just like a weird thing that I thought of that works in this movie that I don't know where else I think it works. Like the stuff outside of the concert really does enhance the concert, and if you do a concert movie, like, it would be good. It's Michael Jackson. It's it'd probably be pretty good. But you are missing this kind of unique experience. I don't think it's a movie again. Like it's really just a clip show. However, it's an enjoyable experience, and I think it speaks to the way that theatrical has been changing over time. Just a couple weeks ago, we got the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I think that is a very, very similar movie in terms of the way that it's trying to accomplish what it's trying to accomplish. We talked about how Mario doesn't have, a vast, breadth of great stories. You play those games because they look awesome, and so they're some of the greatest platformers of all time. Bowser comes, he kidnaps Princess Peach, Mario goes to save her. There's not really anything going on there. Similarly with Michael Jackson, like, I just feel like, I don't know, maybe the family made it so they can decide what can and can't go in the movie. Maybe there is a lot to learn about Michael Jackson. I don't know what that is. So speaking from my perspective, I thought that those two movies were very similar. They're just trying to show you I'm going to call it intellectual property because that's kind of how they're positioning Michael right now. It feels like they're just trying to exploit the intellectual property so that they can render it in the most quote unquote realistic way possible. And that is what is going to get people really excited, because it's the opportunity to see Michael. It's the opportunity to see your favorite thing rendered in the truest, purest form. I don't think that's very interesting personally, but I think a lot of people, like, that's what they're into as far as theatrical. When they pay to go to the theater, they want to see that a lot of the time. And I don't think that bodes well for movies. If the box office has been up this year, which is good, but you see things. I mean, we had Project Hail Mary, which was an more or less original movie. It's based on a book, but it's
made up, by the way, over $600 million. I mean, wow.
Yeah, good stuff.
Made more than Superman. Like that is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that we've had success stories. We've had good stuff. I mean, Send Help made a bunch of money. Iron Lung made a bunch of money. There's been some,
Everything but the Bone Temple.
Yeah. I just ordered the Steelbook, though, and it looks sick. I don't know. Have you seen the Steelbook on that one?
I have.
It's the red cover with him holding the skull. It's good stuff. Anyways, we've had some success with, non-intellectual property movies, or like loosely, or like stuff that hasn't been adapted a bunch of times. But most recently, we've had, the Mario movie and the Michael Jackson movie, and we're going to get a trailer for Avengers Doomsday soon. And those movies are going to they're probably going to be the highest grossers of the year, honestly. Those three movies, and you throw in Moana, the live action one. And those movies are all trying to do that very same thing, which is rendering the thing you like in its purest form, so you can, go and I saw Michael Jackson, I saw Mario, I saw Moana, I saw the Avengers. And the problem with that, I think, is that they're not really iterating on any of these things. They're not saying anything about any of these things.
Nope.
It's just the thing. You go to see the thing, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to be fine with. Norman and I, we're movie people. We're here to comment on this stuff for you. What do you think about this growing trend? And what does it say about movie going in general these days?
That we're cooked.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like this is kind of how it's been for a while since Marvel started, marveling. They kind of ruined everything.
I think you can take that position. I think you can make that argument. We love a lot of those Marvel movies, but I will say that a lot of those early Marvel movies, if you go back and revisit Iron Man and, it's really just Iron Man, honestly. Iron Man is about a guy, selling weapons, and, he's a, defense guy, and he realizes that the weapons he's been selling to people have been hurting people, and he's like, it's the classic, like the rich guy learns empathy for the first time, but it's about something. And a lot of these movies we're getting now are not really about anything. There's nothing to chew on. It's not really a movie, like I said. I've said that 100 times on this podcast now. But yeah, it's just kind of tough. I don't love the trend. I'm glad people are going to the movies, though. And I had a good time, I will say.
Such a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, people are going back to the theater in droves. Like, the box office is doing real good this year. Real good. And we like that on the Sneaking Into the Movies podcast. The movies themselves, that story continues.
Yeah.
A little Michael reference for you. Let's talk about box office a little bit. I don't think we touched on that just yet. So the movie, and specifically predictions. The movie made $218.8 million global this weekend. Made 97.2 domestic. Norman, what do you think about this result, and where do you think it's going to end up when it's all said and done?
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the negative critical reception. I'm curious what the word of mouth on this is going to be like. Um, I don't know. I mean, there were a couple people in my theater and they enjoyed it. I could tell people were enjoying it. I wasn't in one of the theaters. People were dancing or nothing.
Yeah.
But people were laughing and aw anytime something cute happened or whatever. There's one person who just kept saying aw about everything. When it was Little Michael.
Little Michael was great too.
I was about to say shout out. Do we write it down?
Yes, his name is Giuliano Valdi.
He was great. He was really good also. And he's going to be overshadowed because he's not Jafar Jackson. Great job, kid. But yeah, no, I think this will have pretty strong legs for the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
I don't think this is a $1 billion movie.
Okay.
$600-700 million range is where I'd stick my flag on this one, which I think is good. It's really good.
Yeah. I'm gonna zag from you there. I think this is going to be a huge movie. I think it's going to have crazy legs because I think there's going to be some word of mouth, and I think the people that went this week are going to go back next week and the week after that because, like we said throughout this entire podcast, so much of the appeal is the music, and the music doesn't get old. Like you'll want to go back, I think, and hear that music over and over again. And I think people, honestly, like, we're thinking about it in a little bit of an analytical way, and we're like, as a movie, But I think people really like this movie and don't think about the asterisks at all, or don't care or don't think about it. It doesn't show up for them. I think this is going to be a huge movie. I think it's going to make over $1 billion.
Interesting.
I think it's going to be really, really big. Like when at the end of the year, when we're talking about it, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest movies of the year.
I just can't quite go there. But I think it's going to do real well still.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, Sneaking into the Movies has returned, and our story will continue on the next episode.
Getting started.
We're just getting started, man. It's the end of April. We didn't intend to take the month off, but we took a little bit of a break. But we're getting back to some normal episodes here, and it's going to be good stuff. So stay with us.
What do we have going up next? Or
we'll have the Sneaking into the Movies Marathon Winner Selects episode next week, and that's going to be a banger. Amazing. So yeah, also for the Sneaking into the Movies Marathon, you can, look at our Instagram bio. You can check that out if you want to participate in that. It's a monthly contest we run where, if you watch the most movies, you can get a $10 gift card and make us do an episode. For more info on that, go to our Instagram bio. Check it out.
That sounds great, Max.
Yeah.
I will do that. Oh wait, I can't.
Yeah, we're not in it. I don't even.
We got our own challenge going on right now.
We wouldn't even win with our movie watching pace these days. I've been slacking, to be honest.
I have been too. I've been getting little kicks.
Yeah.
I did really well in January. I was watching a ton of movies.
Yeah.
One of my evil roommates has been watching a lot of movies. Mm-hmm. So I've been catching a lot of those with him. Evil because he's trying to make us watch an evil movie.
Yep.
Y'all will know what we're talking about soon.
Very soon.
But yeah, no, I've also been kind of slacking this year.
Yeah.
But remember, you and I we're tallying up at the end of the year.
We are tallying it up. I'm gonna lock in eventually. This is gonna be some week where I just lock in.
Loser gets
and
a
watch
face tattoo.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Forehead tattoo. You get just the name of a movie. So like,
just
if you lose,
Bowser
I get
Jr. across your head.
Yeah, just that works. Just the word Bowser Jr. But yeah, I guess that's it. We will sneak in with y'all next week.
Yes, sir.